Come, let's go. Yes, good girl, good. So what I want to do is actually practice with that particular scenario right there a few times to see if she learns to just be able to go. A lot of fear, there's a lot of fear. Now the thing is, it's kind of weird on how the mentality works, right? Because if she, even though she warms up to people, you see how it's been like a long time and she doesn't really, you think that after a year and a half the dog would realize they don't get hurt for a year and a half. And I know I'm saying a year and a half because that's her case, but I know dogs for like 5 years or more. And what happens is, even after all that time, they still are not 100% comfortable, even though they see men every single day. It's really important that he feels like he has a way in the situation and then a way out. Without any fight, fear, panic, you just get to go there and then walk out. And again, this all has like, all the dogs, they show they have a lot of potential. As soon as we relax, you'll also relax with the dog. Milo, leave it, sit. Any dog? They're barking at him. I want to show you. Again, leave it. Milo, come, sit. And letting him make his own decisions. Leave it. Good. Milo, come. His first step is just kind of walk around. Don't let dogs go. Don't let them go face to face with any other dog. I'm going to work with her. And then everybody else just get their dog. Don't let them go face to face with each other. Don't let them be too close to people or dogs. Even though this is kind of like a small room, you can still keep giving them directions. Everybody just kind of watch their steps and keep switching directions, keep them moving. Good. Good girl. Sit. So release the tension with her, just relax a little bit. Good. Shh. Leave it. Put her right in between you guys. Right there, and we're gonna keep her there for a little bit. So we're teaching her she doesn't have to run away from the situation. So we just go into putting them there. And it makes it a little bit easier because it obviously not gonna do this if your dog is actively lunging at people. Then you focus on all the steps first until they get to this level. And I say this because it's very rare that a dog is gonna go from very severe fear aggressive to then happy-go-lucky without becoming uncomfortable first. Like, relax it off. Like the tension, but watch him closely because the moment that he gets bothered with the fact that I'm here is when you have to redirect. The more he looks at me, the more triggered he's gonna get. Now because we did that right there, I'm here, I'm making my movement, he's next to me. So this is his first step of having positive association with people. Even if it's not petting him right away, I'm just here, I'm making my movements, I'm fine. And when you do the leash pressure, if you need to, it's just a little bit kind of like, hey, I'm telling you, like, leave this person alone. Now shake hands. I guess it's difficult for him if he's really watching, but this would not be possible if I just come all the way to shake your hand. Now, if you always do this, what you're doing is preventing the dog from getting agitated. So it's not going to really 100% solve the problem, but you're preventing him from practicing that bad energy and bad association with people. Every time you feel like there's no way out, he's going to get more aggressive, and then you'll be correcting, and nothing worse than just holding back. No. Relax. You're teaching her to like have self-control. So she's not just pulling, rushing towards things. She's following your steps. Pull back. Sit. Good. Now redirect her attention that way. Go that way. Some dogs even just a few days and they learn it. Some dogs 30 days. It depends on how severe the habit is already. Leave it. Even when he's thinking about it. So when he keeps like kind of watching the other dog, he's getting triggered by them. Before he's even lunging, I'm already doing this and telling him, hey, leave it. Hey, redirect your attention. So the heavy panting is her getting worked up. They like to touch everything with their hands, teach them not to be able to do that. The same thing with the dog. There's going to be a place where it's safe for him. Like there's nothing bad for him to eat, nothing bad water, there's no danger. Then you tell your dog, okay, you can go play now. little bit closer. Right there. She doesn't know how to handle it. Good girl. Good job. Because this, you know, when a dog is this afraid of other dogs, you won't make them just lose that fear overnight. So there are some methods that are not effective at all, and they just feel like it's square one all the time. And the methods that are effective is still gonna take many repetitions. So the way that my method works is I'm pushing her through her fear. She's learning to pass by. The first time, some dogs will not have any of it, like they are really too scared. But I keep reinforcing it, and then as we repeat this, they get more and more comfortable. Even in one training session, some dogs go to the point that they're like literally completely relaxed. But that's not even the goal. The goal is that you do the right thing, and then gradually the dog gets more comfortable. So the next time they pass by dogs like this, they're like, it's no big deal. It's just dogs that are they're neutral. And also don't pay attention to what the other dog is doing. They're calm right now, but if they were barking at me, I would be doing the same thing. I'm calm, I'm keeping her safe, I'm not letting her get too close to them, but I'm still teaching her that she can pass right in between them. So the problem is you're not seeing the small signs that she gives, and then you're not intervening. So when she's around the dogs and she feels like no one is gaining control over the situation, she starts to get ready. So the painting that she did there, as soon as she saw this dog move, that's her basically becoming ready to be reactive. But because when you're there and you see a new distraction coming, you're not stepping in and telling her, hey, I got this under control. So you have to give her a little bit more of that impression that you're in charge of the leash. Leave it. Good.
To watch a master in action, watch him handle a room full of dogs and see how he addresses them. Because I'm a trainer too, and just as a professional, it's always awesome to watch somebody at the top of their game.
Our dog is aggressive towards other dog when they get in her bubble.
We have been following Dog Daddy for a long time. My husband is absolutely obsessed with him, and unfortunately, this was supposed to be his birthday present, and he didn't get to make it in today. So here we are.
This is a rescue adoption, and this is Cole, and he had every behavioral issue. He had anxiety. When I left him anywhere outside the store or at home, he would try to attack other dogs. He was antisocial, he didn't trust anybody. So when I first followed the free YouTube classes, it was fantastic because I applied the techniques with the prong collar during training, and was preceded by great exercise and then training. And look at him now. Today, 2 months later, he's fantastic. Like it's permanent and it's in him. And he's no longer dog aggressive.
It's my rescue dog, who is a breed that is at risk in Ontario, and if they get in trouble, it's a much heftier punishment than other dogs. And she's very reactive on leash. So I used to live in Toronto, and it was really, really, really hard to walk her peacefully because she reacts to the other dogs around us. Becomes very overstimulated.
4-year-old Doberman with reactivity issues with dogs and people. Stem from a altercation, and ever since then he's been reactive. So I brought him today to see if Dog Daddy could help him out.
For us, we just wanted a better life for our dog. He's scared of people and reactive, and we were hoping to learn how to handle him better, so that way we can work up and get to like a more enjoyable place where he could be around other people and other dogs.
We were concerned that our dog was getting a little bit reactive and had an issue with lunging at people. And we also got to see Dog Daddy on social media and saw the success that he had with other dogs, and also the approach to try and help correct the behavior in the way that is appropriate for dogs.
Been watching Dog Daddy on TikTok, YouTube, and I thought he's amazing, so he must be able to do something with this guy, because this guy was human aggressive, I guess you could say. He used to like people when he was a pup, and then I had surgery and he kind of got a little ugly after that. And so, you know, the odd pulling on leash and stuff, I mean, you can deal with that, but being people aggressive, I had to get that looked at.
Calvin is a reactive dog to other dogs, and when we're walking him in the neighborhood, he lunges a lot and he barks a lot, and it's just not a pleasant experience for him. So I thought that giving him some training would be good for him and us.
The one who noticed Dog Daddy's videos first on Instagram or Facebook, I don't remember, but and then I was really impressed with his skills and how kind he is, like how he is so passionate about saving aggressive dogs from euthanasia. And when I saw that he is coming to Toronto for training, I just really want to bring Calvin to see him.
Nala, she's a 2-year-old Australian German Shepherd Rottweiler mix, and she's very aggressive towards other dogs and people.
We saw Dog Daddy online on YouTube, and we really wanted to see what it was all about.
One of the reasons we brought Noli to see Dog Daddy was because we wanted to, she's very reactive to like noises and dogs and distractions around her, so we just wanted to learn some strategies to help her cope with that. And yeah, she barks like near the door, so we learned a technique to help her be a little bit more calm when people knock and when we have visitors. So that was one of the main reasons that we wanted to come and have the session today.
We have a reactive German pointer who needed some help and some guidance.
I've been following him. I think he's wonderful. Because my dog is difficult, reactive, and I live in a condo and I need to have him not bite people. He was biting.
We walked over and or take transit. It's very easy. I like that he had a nice downtown location for training.
Today we traveled about 2.5 hours to get here.
We are from both Toronto and Pembroke, which is about 4.5 hours away.
So we traveled about an hour to get here.
Yeah, and this was really important to us because we came all the way from Ottawa, which is about a 4-hour drive.
I came all the way from Mississauga to Toronto, so about 35 kilometers plus.
Well, came, I don't know how many kilometers we're talking here, but I'm from Milton, so it was a nice distance to get here, that's for sure. We don't travel downtown very often.
I felt very at ease, very comfortable, that he was in control of the situation, that he understood where she was coming from. I was never worried that he was being heavy-handed or anything like that. Much more so, I felt like, he actually cares about dogs and knew what he was doing and does it with kindness and compassion. If Dog Daddy hadn't have taken the leash at the beginning of the class, I don't think that we would have gotten as much out of it, because he did come over to us first because we were the loudest. She was struggling, I think, the most in the room. So it was just really helpful to get her kind of back to a place where I could communicate better with her again. So no, I don't think without his intervention I would have been able to get as much out of the class and been able to focus on and hear as much and observe as much. I would have been managing her much of the time.
He was always very friendly, very nice, and he's like the dog whisperer. Like whatever he commanded Ocean to do, Ocean listened and he followed through.
So at first I was a little nervous, obviously, but no, I honestly trust him 100%. I think everything going around to all the dogs and working on all that first and addressing the dogs that need it the most first it was really good. Really trust him.
He started working with the other dog that was very reactive, that we were so impressed how the dog instantly became a calmer dog.
At the beginning, we were a little bit ambivalent just because we get like so many recommendations to do like treat-based training and stuff like that. And this was, I think, really surprising because, like in a good way, because it taught us really how to manage a situation without, bribes, which really, I think, treat-based training is.
Beginning, when Dog Daddy first started working, he was definitely sizing up the room, and he was sizing up which dogs were feeling what, and he had a system, which was really cool to watch him break that all down.
Started watching the training. First, all the dogs sitting quietly. I thought, oh, they've already been trained. And then when, obviously when they started to interact with people that they didn't know, you could see that the dogs did have issues. And even with Bowie, I think seeing other dogs, he got a little bit anxious, and that's what we see when we're out on the street walking. If there's a commotion, that they do get reactive.
I really trust his job, and I realize that it's true. He's a very, very good with dogs.
To be honest, it was jaw-dropping. We were shocked. Like, I'm here with my son and his girlfriend, and we were just like, I can't believe that he's even that close to him, let alone where he ended up getting to with him. But I was shocked.
I was unsure because I knew what he does, but I was unsure about her reactions. And after a while, then after she started to get used to him, then I felt a little bit more comfortable.
It took a little while for each dog to understand what was happening in the situation that we're in. So ultimately, when the training started to work and everyone started to be kind of like directed about what to do, things got a lot easier.
I was actually a little bit worried how Stanley was going to react, but it seemed like he took to him very well, and I was quite impressed, to be honest. He took time to explain. He took minutes to observe the personality of my dog. He could see the different personalities based on the different dogs in the classroom, and he knew the dog like instantly. It was quite magical.
We learned to make sure that we distract the dog and we don't scold it or we don't punish it. We essentially just try to distract and lead as opposed to correct.
The first thing that we learned about training is Ocean needed some help with leash manners, working with the prong. We actually found out that his prong is a little bit too loose, and Augusto was able to tell us which one he should use. We really appreciate his skills and techniques. It's very similar to what he learned with his other trainers, and I like his methods. All the dogs were very well behaved today, and I think Ocean learned a lot.
And the training that we had today was great reinforcement. I continue to do what I have been doing from his instructions.
The whole course, the practice, the hands-on practice, you know, he came over multiple times and took the leash and showed me a better way, better timing, how to, you know, things to look for.
I learned a lot about how to be dominant but totally peaceful, just to a whole nother level of peace, because these dogs really respect him. And I was expecting a lot more firmness from Dog Daddy, but I really just saw a consistent level of calmness.
So it taught us how to not just get out of a stressful situation, how to manage that stressful situation, which is hopefully going to equip us with some tools to help him be integrated with our friends and family and, you know, participate more in our life. So.
And one of the things that I really learned was just like, don't be dismayed if things don't work out at the start. It's a lot of repetition, a lot of failure, but you just got to try it and not be scared of failure, because then the dog will think that that's his escape. So that's one thing that I've learned, and I look forward to bringing back home when we continue our training there.
What I learned at the training is you have to be consistent, and also we need to make sure that we're using the right technique so that the dog is communicating with us. So Bowie, he himself is a very communicative dog, but it looks like the way that we are communicating needs to be a little bit more consistent, and also have the techniques that we saw in the training today. We should be using those instead of just treats or just sort of like commands to come to us.
Well, I learned I guess for me the main thing would be is it doesn't always have to be about tugging on the leash. Having the right collar is what I learned today for sure. That'd be my first thing, which is actually what he's currently got on right now. And talking him through it, as well as, you know, pulling him away from a potential dangerous situation instead of kind of like leading him into that, like pulling him away and redirecting his attention. Okay, so the comparison is night and day, absolutely, because had he just done that little thing, and I wouldn't have learned enough, I don't think, and by watching and learning the other dogs and the behaviors and how he does with them is the follow through.
He seemed very knowledgeable, and he understood that even though Calvin wasn't reactive here because this wasn't his territory, he gave us guidelines for how to work with him at home, which is very important. I learned about steering him away from conflict and giving him a way out, as well as the prong collar, which I had never heard of before, and it seems to not hurt his neck like other collars that we've tried, but still communicate well with him.
I think Dog Daddy was very observant because even though there were other dogs in the workshop, then they were sort of like aggressive, so they were getting more attention from Dog Daddy, but then still Dog Daddy would come over and say, give us some tips specifically for Calvin. So and he noticed that the first collar that he tried on him wasn't working that well, so he switched. So I think even though there were so many dogs during the workshop and he was working with the other dogs, but he still somehow managed to remember him and notice that he wasn't comfortable with the first collar that he was using. So I thought that was really nice.
Oh, how to redirect her when other dogs are around and other people are around. Because I was just talking to a lady, and we were in, I would say, 3 to 5 feet apart from each other, where before that could not happen.
I would say the most important part is about the different types of collars that are involved with training the dogs, and also the types of pressure you need at the different points, because you don't apply pressure all the time. The pressure was applied only at certain moments to tell the dog that what they're doing is incorrect, and just redirecting the dog anytime you could tell that the dog's body language was different.
How to hold the leash properly, not to let him jump on me, all sorts of things.
We learned how to use a prong collar properly. I know a lot of people don't believe in them. I never tried one until today, and I would like to be a testimonial that they do not pierce the skin. My dog is in no pain, and literally all it did was control him, and it was excellent.
So we're going to continue with the leash training, which we haven't been able to do with the harness, but now with the collar it's going to be different.
Augusto said that he was going to send us some materials and things like that on how to select a proper fitting prong, and he was going to send us some other things to do at home as well.
I've been searching out Dog Daddies, like I searched out videos, training videos for my dog, because I've given up and I didn't really have the money to spend thousands of dollars training my dog, but you know, also you can't afford to have an incident. They'll take your dog, you know, or euthanized, whatever. So I think I got great value, and I've been watching him since I found him a couple months ago, and I've had immediate success. I've got a beautiful, calm, happy, non-reactive dog. I'm very proud, very happy. Thank you.
I feel that we are well equipped to continue.
I didn't even think, to be honest. I mean, you just see little flicks when you're watching on YouTube and Instagram. You only see little shorts, so I didn't even think I'd walk away with this much knowledge, to be honest. So absolutely, yeah, learned a lot from this.
Yeah, I think so. Like, we just need to be patient, because with any skill, whether it's people or dogs, you do need to practice over and over again to be good at it. So we will keep practicing.
Also, we have to be observant, because sometimes you can be walking a dog and not pay attention to what they're doing, but he definitely has his cues when you're paying attention, so that's something I learned today.
Yeah, right now with the advice and the guidance that he's given, we're going to continue on and try to improve on her training and get her a little bit more calm.
Now I definitely feel a lot more well equipped to train the dog at home because it's now I understand how to communicate with the dog.
I absolutely feel well equipped to continue training.
You have to practice.
My dog decided he was going to be most vocal today than he's ever been in his whole entire life, but I think he was just very stimulated to be around other dogs and excited, but I think he did very well and he learned a lot and he's walking better on his leash.
Today you can see he's very relaxed and calm now from what I had was a very reactive dog when he was first adopted.
This is just a great room of dogs to expose him to, because he's a bit of a challenging breed, and that's what I love about him.
To help him, pull out of his red zone is kind of what he gets into. So most people just kind of give up on him and assume that he's just an aggressive dog, but this went a little bit deeper than that, and we were grateful for that.
I think Bowie, the exposure for Bowie to have someone else, it was rewarding to see that he was able to be walked by someone else with the leash, because that was one of our biggest concerns, that no one else could ever walk Bowie, but seeing Dog Daddy walk him was like a relief that we can have him walked by other people.
Yeah. This is living proof right here. As we're sitting here and he's just sitting and there's someone recording and he's just not wanting to attack him or eat him. You could call him the human eater. But yeah, he's done exceptionally well. We never thought he would, I never thought in 3 hours that he would be like this, ever. I wouldn't have been able to do that. It's that skill that he has and his energy, but I couldn't do it on my own.
I think he did well because he's such a small dog compared to the other dogs, and all those bigger dogs were barking, and so I imagine he's really scared. But after a while, I could see him relaxing, because initially when I tried to give him water, he wouldn't drink it, and you can tell that he's really nervous. That's why he wouldn't want to drink anything. Eventually, he started drinking water, and you could see that he's walking better and less nervous. So I think it was a good experience for him.
She did very well. She's a very loving dog, but she just doesn't like new people around, but she did very good. I don't think that she would improve if Dog Daddy hadn't taken her and worked on her and then given her back to me. She is extremely calmer now with other dogs around and walking past other dogs, walking past other people, because now that I've learned how to make her realize that she's okay and she doesn't have to be defensive, then she's a little bit more trusting of me, and then it feels like she wants to just come with me instead of engaging with other dogs and people.
I think she did a really, really good job.
I think he did pretty good.
He did an okay job. A little barky, but that's him. I've worked in vets, I've worked with vets, I've worked with trainers. I've worked in a dog daycare with trainers on staff. And literally the aggressive dogs were segregated, they were put in their own runs and kennels, they weren't allowed to socialize. This is unbelievable. We got to socialize reactive dogs, and that's quite important, I think. I think in comparison to other trainers, Dog Daddy is the best. And I'm really happy he came to Toronto. I've been waiting a long time, and I'm very, very, very impressed and very satisfied.
Yeah. So this is good because she's doing stay, but she's around dogs and people, and we're kind of like throwing the responsibility onto her to. She's basically learning to focus on something else. That's really important right now, right there, bad. You see how before I was about to say her look was good, but then when the dog was coming face to her, this was bad. She looked very like, whoa, why is this dog here? Understanding that is really important because that's when you want to step in. See, she's gonna just see your hand moving, leave it. Because you see how that look of concerns? So that's just another level of, oh, there's a new person around me, I don't have to worry about it. Try patting her a little bit. Good. It's okay. Good job. It's okay. And then stop. Perfect. That's good. We want a little bit of that. She's definitely unsure of it, so good. Come. Yes. Good. Okay, come on. She's getting a little more interested, which is good. She just, I know she doesn't know how to interact yet, so that can be a problem, but it's okay. So just that's more aggressive. So pull her back. Tell her no, like redirect her. Hello. Hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Tired after a lot of training.
You've done a lot today.
Yes.
Great. Everyone smile.
Yeah, I just want to say welcome to Toronto.
Of course.
Sorry about all those people.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm apologizing.
It's okay. Thank you, guys.
And, yeah.
Perfect.
Hey.
She's half ragdoll and half munchkin.
Oh, cute. New dogs.